Good morning. It's me, Richard Lewis Brown. Today's March the 26th, 2021. It's Friday. As you know, I seek your support to become the new Local 1000 president. And this is a live Facebook video. Off the top, everything is live. I don't know if people are up. It's Friday morning. People are probably just relaxing. We had a great conversation last night on Facebook Live. A lot of people watched, and it went for 2 hours. And a person who's running for VP of Bargaining, Robert Bays, he came on, and we shared the spotlight, and it was a fantastic conversation. So fantastic that I deeply respect him coming on, and hopefully we'll be able to talk again, and hopefully the other candidates will show the courage and the conviction of their character, of their sincerity and integrity, like Robert did last night by coming on to talk to me. And so we talked last night. Some people would call it a talk. Some people would call it a mild debate, but it was a great dialogue. And at the end of the conversation, when I went to bed, it dawned on me what that conversation was really about and why I'm so different than everyone else, and why everyone else that's running for office, they tell you they're just trying to, quote, change things in the union when all they're doing is making things, more appropriate for them, to benefit them. And why I'm the only one that says, hey, we cannot be involved in politics because it divides our union. And when I realized, when I went to bed and I woke up this morning, was that I'm the only candidate that gives you hope, that lays it out for you. And so last night, Robert kept saying, how can we reduce the dues by 50%? That's impossible. In this great country, all things are possible. That's how this country was created, off of hope. And my belief in God tells me that all things are possible. With man, things are impossible. But through my faith in God, all things are possible. And I know we can reduce these dues by 50%, give people an instant savings to let them know that we're creating a whole new culture for Local 1000. And it starts by creating that hope. So we start by reducing dues. You get out of politics, you establish term limits, you allow everyone to vote and become job stewards. You don't require them to have to pay money, even though it takes money to run an organization. But it starts with hope. So some people are so focused on the numbers that if the numbers don't add up, then they say it's impossible, we can't do anything. Here's the thing about people like that. They let numbers dictate their lives. Now, I went to school for finance, okay? But numbers don't dictate everything I do in my life. If my gut tells me this is the right thing to do, I go against the numbers, okay? So reducing your dues is the right thing to do to tell everyone we are sincere on creating a new culture for Local 1000. Back to the numbers that he kept arguing about. He wasn't really arguing, he was just stating his opinion. The governor, Gavin Newsom, through the numbers said the right thing to do is to take away our money for 2 days a month for 2 straight years by the numbers. But the numbers didn't tell him to reduce his own money and to make sure that the legislature had their money reduced. See, the numbers didn't tell him that part. See, they're outside the numbers. See, so when people argue or when they give their opinion about the numbers, anybody can take numbers and spend them any way they want. What I'm telling you, as Richard Lewis Brown, running for Local 1000 president, I'm the only candidate that's providing you so much hope, and I'm providing you the truth. Reducing your dues by 50%, everyone's talking about it. And so even those who say, oh, it can't be done, they're still talking about it. Notice how everything I say, people talk about, because I'm speaking from sincerity with my integrity, because I'm providing you hope. When I say we're going to establish term limits for all elected officials for Local 1000, I'm not being a hypocrite, because I'm providing you hope that I'm going to show you fairness and equality to everyone, starting with myself. And that's why I put in my brochure, in my 2021 campaign brochure, that I financed on my own, that I will only serve 2 term limits. So it doesn't even matter if people say, well, Richard, you won't be able to get nothing passed through the board. for those 2 term limits for all elected positions. I've already told you I'm only serving 2 regardless of that, because I'm providing hope to everyone in our union, not just the quote dues paying members, because that kept coming up last night. I'm for everyone equally. See, the people who are running for office, statewide office, and even the ones running at the DLC level, they talk about members. So in other words, if you don't pay money, they don't have any hope for you. Okay? A lot of people have come to this great country, and our country has some character flaws. Deep, foundational character flaws. You're looking at one. So a lot of people have come to this great country off of hope. You have people coming across our border illegally at our southern border because of what? Because of hope of a better tomorrow. So when we were talking last night, at the end, I realized what that conversation was about. It wasn't just about Robert Bays showing the courage that no one else has showed. It was about the fact that I started talking about sincerity and integrity and how I had it and how the other candidates were hypocrites and liars. And that sincerity and integrity, I can't make this up. It comes from hope. My hope in God, my belief in God, my faith in God, my faith that I have not seen God. God hasn't come down to the store and said, hey, man, you need a few dollars? But it's my faith. Something I haven't seen, but I still believe in it because I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. And that's through hope. Hope of positive energy. A lot of people running for office don't have that hope. They don't have that faith. They don't have that true conviction to help you. And that's why sometimes I come across really passionate because I'm so truthful. And you know I'm truthful. And you want to believe everything I say. But you've been conditioned for so many years since 2008, and for some people before 2008, that our union can never do anything any differently. Our union will never change. That means that whoever's running your union has never provided you hope. They've never given you that hope. Because if they had given you that hope, you would have never left the union. A lot of people have left the union because they lost hope in Local 1000. And that's what it is. And that's why when I say I'm running for office, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, because I'm telling the truth. And if you believe in the things that I say, and you know that you've lost hope, and I'm providing you that hope, then don't let anyone tell you what can't be done. So I see a comment, when you say from all that unnecessary you know what, Carmen Ledesma, you're right. People have talked to me about that. You know, all the unnecessary union leave. Now, Robert Bays last night didn't talk about that expense. I left that part out. Some things I just leave out and I let people talk. We have too many people on union leave. That's wasted money. So when he says, oh, there's no way we can reduce the dues by 50% and still keep ourselves going, that's not true. But see, he's not providing anyone hope because he says, well, I'm not going to make promises that I can't keep. Okay, that sounds reasonable. But be careful when you reason with people. Because if you remember that historical biblical story, that's how evilness tempted righteousness. They tried to reason. Anytime someone tries to reason with you, be careful. Be careful. Because you don't know if they're reasoning in good intent or in bad intent. I'm providing hope. So sometimes people can't not reason that because they don't want to reason it. You can believe in anything if you just put your mind to it. And this is what I'm doing. And this is why, people talk about me so much. They talk about me more than they talk about Yvonne. They talk about Yvonne because we're losing all this money. And she's destroyed people's lives. And that's why people have lost hope in the union. And that's why they've walked away from the union. And what I'm doing is I'm providing hope for people to come back to the union by getting out of politics, by reducing your dues, establishing term limits, voting rights for everyone, job stewardship for everyone. Listen to this. Last night he talked about, Robert Bays has studied my 10-point platform. And I give him the utmost respect for that because he was talking about it. When I said the local 1,000 staff needs to have guaranteed retirement health care, he says, well, we can't afford to do that. See, this is what I call true hypocrisy. We have guaranteed retiree health care. But when it comes to our staff at Local 1000, that's going to provide us quality job representation and along with professional contract labor negotiators to get us a 21% pay increase along with GO-Pay and COLA, we can't afford to give them guaranteed retiree health care? So it's okay for us, but it's not okay for them. That's a politician talking to you. Now, I'm sure Robert Bays wasn't trying to come across as a politician because he made it perfectly clear that people have tried to bribe him to not run. Not me. I've never tried to bribe him. And he said that, he can't afford to do these beautiful campaign brochures because he's not, a politician. He's not getting donations. I'm not getting donations either. My beautiful brochures is providing hope and showing you transparency and accountability for my words. But the fact that he said we couldn't afford to provide retiree health care for our staff when we have it ourselves because we're going to reduce the dues by 50%. No, that's not true. That is absolutely not true. There's a lot of money in that union. You know how I know there's a lot of money in that union and it's not being accounted for? Think about these elections. Think about how hard Yvonne would do anything and everything to keep her power. Why is that? Why is that? What's really going on? As someone said, how much is Gavin Newsom paying her to give up our money? How much money is really involved in that union? Is it really all on those balance sheets, on those financial statements? How many times have you heard about union corruption where there was money hid here and there all across America? How many times have you heard of union elections being corrupt? How many times? How many times have you seen union officials get arrested for embezzlement of union money? See, I didn't say that last night because he showed the courage to come on and talk to me, and I wanted to have a great conversation with him. So when I told you this morning, when I went to bed last night, I had a lot on my mind. And so I'm talking this morning, Facebook Live. And when I do these live videos, people usually call me and say, you didn't talk about this, and you didn't do this, Richard. And Richard, I'm going to hold you accountable for this. And I want you to talk about this. Talk about CDCR, Richard. We're dying here in CDCR. Show us our respect. I get calls from Caltrans. I get calls from up and down this state. But this morning, this is live. This is off the top of my head. This is from the Spirit, from the Most High, coming from the sky, where life was created from the air above us. And this is coming from my spirit. The hope. So when I talk about create excellence, what I'm really talking about is creating a whole new way of doing things that inspires hope. So people come back to the union and people will be more than glad to pay their membership dues at a reduced cost or at whatever cost. Because I provided hope and I'm showing them transparency and I'm showing them accountability. Something else came up last night. He kept referring to our organization as a business. Our organization is a nonprofit. We're not run to produce a profit. We're a nonprofit. Look at our tax returns. We are a nonprofit organization. So the idea that everything has to be based on money, that's not true. Yeah, we need money to run. We have to be financially accountable. But the first thing is we got to provide hope to people. So he kept saying you have to raise our level of service to match the cost. That's a very reasonable argument. Here's the thing. No one in Local 1000 believes that we'll ever raise our level of service to match the cost. People don't believe that. If that was the case, we would not be losing money right now. If you want to raise your level of service, then why don't you stop this POP right now? Yvonne Walker, the 3 VPs, why aren't you working around the clock? Last weekend's board of directors meeting, fantastic. The proposals, like I told Robert Bays, that's fantastic. And I'm not trying to shame Robert Bays for his 7 proposals. What I'm saying is that's great. But every minute of every day should be centered on stopping this PLP, period. Nothing else matters. It's about saving our money. They have billions upon billions and billions of dollars in the state government. But have they stopped our PLP? They said, we'll think about it. We'll wait till May for our May revision. What they're waiting for is to see how much money they're going to spend with their friends and their lobbyists and their little pet projects and how much more money they'll get from the federal government. That's what they're waiting on. Now, there's a good chance we'll get our money restored on July 1st. But we should have never lost our money to begin with. But he doesn't care. Gavin Newsom doesn't care. He's not providing you any hope. The only thing he's providing and prioritizing and protecting is his own money and his own family. The same thing for Yvonne Walker and the same thing for a lot of these Local 1000 leaders. Do they provide you hope? Do they challenge the system? Do they challenge the status quo? No, they do not. Now, like I said last night to Robert, I can't wait to talk again. And hopefully that's going to provide hope to the other candidates to show the courage to do a video with me live. Now, these other candidates will not do a video with me. And like I told him, I was told who was going to run, and I was accurate. But my heart always told me, not my head, my heart said, there may be somebody else that runs or other people that run that you don't know about. And Robert is one. But now that he's got my attention, and the things that he said last night were powerful things, because he said his supporters can't see it. See, when people tell you they can't see how reducing money by 50% is going to provide hope, what they're really telling you is they don't believe. They don't believe. When those people from Latin America, not just Mexico, but from Latin America, when they try to cross that border illegally, because they have a hope for a better tomorrow, a hope, and they're breaking every law possible. When people from all over the world come to this country, they have a hope. And you always hear these political stories by these politicians, how they came to America with no money. But yet they made it because they had a belief, the power of believing. Now, I'm Richard Lewis Brown, and I'm providing that hope. Now, I'm not, I can't remember President Obama's thing from years ago, hope or whatever one of the slogans was. I'm telling you from this morning, the spirit that's running through me, what I'm feeling from that conversation last night that's centered on sincerity and integrity, because I'm providing hope and I'm accountable and I'm transparent with that hope, and I'm challenging the status quo of Local 1000, and I'm the only person that's been doing that all of this time since 2012. And no one's paying me. I'm not being funded by no one. I'm not trying to destroy or decimate our union. What I'm trying to do is unify our union, create the independence, walk away from politics, reduce your dues, and still give you a higher level of service for less money. That's what it is. So, again, I'm Richard Lewis Brown. I'm not going to go long. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Today is March the 26th, 2021. I'm running for Local 1000 president. I'm the only person that's going to challenge the status quo, provide you that hope, reduce your dues, create term limits for all elected officials for Local 1000, be totally transparent, allow anyone to run for Local 1000 office. You don't need any time requirements. You don't have to be a job steward to run. But we're going to make everybody a job steward. We're going to create equality, because I'm against race. I'm against racism, but I'm against discrimination for any person. And when we discriminate against half our union because they're not paying money, because you have to pay money to vote, that's wrong. And when half the union, because the majority of our union is white, so you're discriminating against all of these white people, that's wrong. So when I tell you I'm against racism as a black man, then I'm not going to be a hypocrite. And when I see discrimination against these people who happen to be white, who happen to be of a different political party than me, because our union's involved in politics that supports the Democrats, and half these people, half our membership, half our represented employees who are not members are Republicans and they're white, that's wrong. What's fair is fair. What's right is right. And when you provide true hope to everyone equally, that's righteousness. That's not what's good for today and then it changes tomorrow. No, what I say yesterday is still true today and it's going to be true tomorrow because I'm speaking righteously from the air because I'm talking about hope. And that's why I say create excellence, because when this world was created, it wasn't changed. This world was created and we were created. It was made on excellence. It was made on excellence, built on excellence. Okay, Richard Lewis Brown, March the 26th, 2021. I seek your support to become the new Local 1000 president. You make it a great day, and we're going to keep doing these videos, and we're going to win this election. Thank you very much.